I was just kind of not agreeing with in the media and the, NBA talk around the league was that everyone kept talking about Mikal Bridges. They traded 5 first-round picks for him, and he's not playing like he's worth 5 first-round picks. That's what people were saying about Mikal Bridges in the playoffs, stuff like that, right? I did not like that narrative because what people are forgetting is context. Mikal Bridges was going for 5 first-round picks because you know where he came from? The Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks are rivals. They are literally playing in the same state with one another. The Brooklyn Nets will refuse to do a deal with the New York Knicks any day of the week, and same vice versa, unless the deal is so overwhelmingly like, we can't not accept this. That's the only way they'll do a deal. If Mikal Bridges was on the Washington Wizards, it wouldn't have been 5 first-round picks. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, every deal is situational. So I didn't like that narrative around Mikal Bridges because the only reason it cost 5 first, not that he would have gone for free, but like the only reason it was 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges was because he was coming from the Brooklyn Nets. That is the only reason. And the Knicks basically offered them a deal that they couldn't refuse because they really wanted to pair Mikal Bridges, with his old teammates of Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and stuff like that. So the only way to get it done was to overpay, so to speak, for Mikal Bridges. So I just wanted to make that clear because I feel like people are forgetting that's exactly what happened. They didn't just trade 5 first-round picks for him from anywhere, you know what I mean? And again, Mikal Bridges is a very good player. I think, he got talked down about in the playoffs for like no reason, in my opinion, because he was doing so much, he has so much responsibility defensively, but regardless, remember, he went for 5 first-round picks because he came from the rival, the Brooklyn Nets, and the only way they would have traded him was to, quote-unquote overpay. So I say all that to say, to go back to the Desmond Bane trade that happened today. Like I said, it's situational because people are saying, oh, but what would Giannis cost? Well, the reason that the Orlando Magic had to give up 4 unprotected first-round picks, and also I'll tell you how they may not be so valuable for the Orlando Magic anyway, but the reason they did is they attached KCP's contract. Now, if you don't remember, they gave KCP 3-year, $80 million last offseason, like some kind of like significant contract they gave him. So, the way that KCP played last year did not live up to the contract that they paid him, for. Now, that doesn't mean KCP won't have a better year. Maybe he just had an off year. But the fact of the matter is, it was a down year for him. And because of that, his value went down to other teams around the league. So the reason that they had to give up 4 first-round picks, well, 5, but 4 unprotected, was one of those picks at least, maybe 2, but I'll say 1. One of those unprotected first-round picks was just to offload KCP's contract. Like, you have to remember, they had to attach a pick just to get his contract off. The same way that something like that happened a couple of years ago. I forgot what team it was, but there was something like that a couple of years ago where a team traded a player who had a significant contract to a team who wasn't like in a winning situation. I don't remember who it was, but I just remember this happening. And that team had attached a first-round pick of theirs to that player to get the team to take on the contract. So that is not, new by any means. But so that's already 1 pick technically taken away. So technically we're talking about 3 unprotected first-round picks now for Desmond Bane and 1 pick swap, right? So with all that being said, so now we say, okay, 3 unprotected first-round picks. So the thing is, 1 pick is their pick from this year's draft, which is the 15th pick overall. And then we have 2026, 2028, and 2030 as the unprotected picks. We'll ignore 2030 because that's a little far away, but 2025 and 2026 at least, right? They are expecting to be contenders. They expect to be a championship contender in their minds now that they got Desmond Bane, and maybe they'll pick up a couple other people in the offseason.